Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to week 6 of Planning for Profit. This is Colette D. Phelps, and we have another great week. This time we're going to be talking about market assessment and expansion. Next slide. Our speakers today are Barbara Leachman with the Idaho Small Business Development Center in Lewiston, Idaho, and Diane Green with Green Tree Naturals in Sandpoint, Idaho. Cinda is facilitating the slideshow today, and I will be running the question and answer session. And so if you have any questions, please type them into the question box during speakers' talk, if at all possible, so that we can answer them during the Q&A session. And we will have a full night tonight, so hopefully you're going to learn a lot and have a great time. Next slide. Before we go into our presentation, I want to go over the assignments this week. Your reading assignments are posted as PDF documents on the course website. So it's to read Developing a Marketing Plan, which is a 4-page publication, and then the marketing portion of Strategic Planning and Evaluation, which comes from Building a Sustainable Business, a guide to developing a business plan for farms and rural businesses. Then to complete the worksheets 4.1 to 4.9, which relate to developing a marketing plan. So you have links to that reading and to those workshops directly on the course website. Then I've also provided a link to the full content of the Building a Sustainable Business book. So it's broken up by chapters on the web, and you can get a lot of other worksheets if you want to delve deeper into any of the topics that they address. And then for the discussion forum, to talk about your customers and how many you anticipate, and then what makes your product unique and how you'll promote it. And these assignments are also posted on the course webpage. There's also a couple marketing videos that you might find interesting, and the links to those are on the course webpage. Next slide. So with that introduction to the week, Barbara Leachman is going to talk about farm marketing. Thank you, Barbara.
Hi, this is Barbara again, and I think Cinda's going to give me the mouse so I can advance here. Let me make sure that I've got that going. Okay, we do. It's Barbara Leachman again, and this is a picture of my best tractor and the outhouse in the background. It's a 1940s vintage Alice Chalmers HD5 crawler with a blade. And this time of year, we're doing a lot of snow plowing with her. Good thing my husband's a good mechanic, because I can really make a big mess with this tractor, and I can really get her stuck. I have so many skills, in fact, that my husband has taken away my tractoring. Good thing this workshop is about marketing and not about tractoring. We're going to be talking about marketing planning, and I'm not going to talk so much about the written document itself, but in different ways to look at your strategy about your product. For example, if you're selling a specialty product or a commodity, I'm going to spend some time talking about pricing, placement, and promotion, and even some on breaking even. So we're going to be talking about learning here and about marketing, which is the process of understanding the needs and wants, and those can be very different, of your customers, and creating a desire in them to buy your products or services. And I'm going to repeat, understanding your customers so that they buy from you. And there's a lot of academics and research about thinking about that, and I know Diane's going to have some great examples on how she does that. Regardless of whether you are selling retail or wholesale, you need to understand your industry, your market, and your best customers. You also need to know why customers buy or will buy from you. If you're looking at getting into a new product, you're looking at that potential. And why they will pay your prices, even if you're not the cheapest, and hopefully you're not going to be the cheapest. You need to know about your competition and what they're doing, what their prices are, how successful they are. Are they increasing or decreasing? And are they getting into what you've been getting into, or are they getting out? Maybe even a little bit about your market share, even at a particular farmer's market for a particular product, let's say carrots. Are you selling half of the carrots there at the market, or are you just getting into carrots and you're going to have to break in? So looking at how you can be different, how you can be better. We talked down here about a competitive advantage, and kind of some similar terminology is your unique selling advantage. So what is yours? So maybe if you've got a piece of paper or pencil in front of you, kind of what are you doing that is different or better, something that gives you an advantage over your competition. It might be your location, it might be your signage, it might be some of those things like Diane was talking about last time, where she takes the tops of the corn and ties them up a little bit, makes them look just a little bit nicer than the other guys, and that gives her a competitive advantage and maybe allows her to charge a little bit more. And at the end of the day, hopefully be making a profit at that, even though it might take a little bit of time. So we call these value propositions. You need something that makes your product a little bit better, or maybe just makes your message a little bit better. I think about some of these things that they sell on TV, that they do infomercials, or you know, have a whole TV channel about selling jewelry or something else. A lot of that is about the message that they are having they are spending a whale of a lot of money on their message to their customers. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that message, and I know Diane will too. So those 4 P's we talk about, your product. So in Diane's case, we were talking about tying up the tops of the corn to make it a little bit different, a very colorful product. The price, and let's hope that that's not your only way to compete, is by price. Your placement, and again, that's the location. Maybe that's you're selling retail instead of wholesale. Maybe you've got a CSA. It's part of what we mean by placement. And promotion, and that's the we'll get into some of those details of the advertising and media as we go along. So again, think about it for just a moment, write it down. Later, maybe take that and do some brainstorming about what you might be able to do with your product to differentiate it from the competition. You don't have to be better in all 4 areas, but you do need to be better in somewhere. Okay, so one of your products, we're going to talk about the market supply and demand for a specific product that you might be selling. And we've talked previously about knowing your costs, so you know if you can make a profit, and we're going to again get into some of the details of that in just a few minutes. So why will customers buy from you? What are you offering that's better than the competition? And then what is your market area? How far will people come to buy from you or at the market that you are selling at? how much is purchased in your market area. So how many carrots are being sold every Saturday at that particular farmer's market? And if you also sell wholesale, if you sell to restaurants, how much is being purchased in that market area? Who is buying and how much? Who is selling and how much will help you figure out where you might fit into that picture. If you're new to that market area, how fast will you be able to build how much market share? So if there's only one other person selling the kind of carrots that you sell, it might not be as difficult to build market share as if there's 20 people selling a very similar product. And what are they selling it for, and what are you going to be able to sell yours for? And if you're new to the market, are you going to sacrifice some profit in order to build market share so that you build some customer loyalty and have people looking for you the next weekend? Are people throwing away carrots at the end of the sale? Is there more being produced than, of course, carrots keep a little bit better, but let's say raspberries, something that might not keep as well. Is there more demand than there is supply? Are people sold out of berries by noon? Or is there a surplus of supply over what people are buying? And of course, if there's more demand than there is supply, then that might give you an opportunity to adjust your prices. If it's the opposite, then maybe a person needs to consider whether or not they're going to be able to keep doing it. Okay, so other than just personally checking out your competition, and in a small market that is easy to do. In a huge market, so I work with some clients who are selling a product nationwide or even internationally because they have very unique products and are able to do that. That's tougher with small farm products. So your typical type of research is going to be what we call primary market research. You're going to ask your customers, you're going to look at your competition yourself, you might do personal interviews. If you're looking at getting into something new, a focus group, or if you're looking at processing something, let's say you have a recipe for a salsa that you might want to can and provide at the sale. In addition, of course, to checking in all the regulations, you might want to have a group of people who will be honest about the product and maybe even get a third party involved to run the focus group that will focus on the taste of the product. Is it something that they really like, or are they willing to give you honest feedback about it if they don't like it? And would they be willing to pay your price for it? So I've talked to a client about setting up a focus group on her product that she's developed, and it's going to be higher priced. It's a new product on the market, but it's going to have a significant price compared to what people are currently using to solve that problem. And sometimes a focus group can help determine if it's worthwhile to proceed, because it might be that it just prices people out of the desire to have that problem solved. Surveys can work good too, with the same kind of attention to that. If it's a confidential survey, people might be more likely to be honest about it, because people do like to be positive. They like to give positive feedback. They might say they really like it when maybe they really don't, because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings.